All right, guys, for today's workout, we're starting off power and iron up. It's going to be 4 rounds of 15 speed bench, which means we're going to bring it down as quick as we can, under control, of course, down as quick as we can, and up as fast as possible, right? So what we're using is 40 to 45% of our 1 rep max. The real focus here is to flex the muscle as fast as it can, not just move the barbell. So think flex, flex, flex as quick as possible. So that's what we're shooting for. Then you're gonna do 15 seated banded rows to chest, except you're gonna use 2 bands. So 1 in each hand. I'll throw up a video so you can see what it looks like right here. And so as you're pulling this to your chest, really focusing on driving your elbows back, open up your rib cage, hoo-yah. Resting 1 minute to 1.5 minutes between rounds, and you probably can go right at a minute. You don't need to go super long. You might even be able to decrease this a little bit as long as you're staying true to your percentage, and you're good to go. Part 2 is 5 rounds through. You can do 6 narrow grip pull-ups, and then 15 banded lat press downs. And for this, I started with a double band and then ended up actually working over to a single and just doing 15 on one side and 15 on the opposite side. Resting 30 seconds between rounds, so nothing super long. Gonna keep the lats nice and hot. Part 3 is gonna be 4 rounds of 10 bent over rear delt raises. So we wanna go pretty heavy with this, but make sure you're still focusing on the muscle you wanna actually use. After that, as many reps as possible, any tricep extension. You could do a cable, a band, you could do JM presses, you could do tape presses, whatever you wanna do, as long as we're keeping it in the tricep, you're good to go. Resting 2 minutes between rounds, good full reset, then some lag and muscle, mobility major if you want it. Lag and muscle if you want it, mobility major, you need it. Fitness and sports going to be part 1, 4 rounds. You're either going to do a 300-meter row or 1 minute, as many reps as possible, calories on a bike, right? So figure it out, roll around in there, decide which kind of path you want to go, choose your Destiny book style, turn to page 34, and row as fast as you can for 300 meters. Resting 30 seconds to let that heart come down just a little bit, and then we're going to go 30 seconds, as many reps as possible of chin-ups, right? So that's palms facing us. If you have poor shoulder mobility, poor elbow mobility, then turn it over and do a pull-up. We don't want to get any pop biceps from any poor mobility. Or you can limit your range a little bit too. Add you a band, whatever you need to do, but get you a lot of reps. Keep it controlled though, because the faster you move on this, this can be a dangerous exercise. As many reps as possible, chest to ground push-ups on dumbbells. So we're going to get a little bit of extra by being on dumbbells versus being on the ground. It's going to work solid. And then in between your rest is going to be the 5, 7, 9 recovery breathing. So you're going to do 5 breaths, mouth to mouth, then 7 nose to mouth, and lastly 9 nose to nose at that point. As long as you can get through the 5, 7, 9, you feel fully recovered, then go ahead and start the next round. Hoo-yah. Part 2 is going to be 3 rounds, 12 med ball push presses, 20 banded tricep extensions, rest is needed. Part 3, 4 rounds, 15 band pulls to the face, and then turn around and banded curls. Too easy. Let's move on to TDY. All right, for TDY, we're looking at very much the same thing that we were working on the first portion for power and iron up, which is going to be part 1. It's going to be 4 rounds, 15 dumbbell bench down as fast as you can bring it down under control, and up as fast as you can bring it up under control. Then instead of the banded seated rows, if you have bands and you can do seated rows like this, then do. If not, seal rows, laying on a bench, set up nice and solid, no extra body English going into that. Resting a minute, like we talked about, 1.5 minutes, depending on how heavy you go, but a minute should probably be fine. Part 2, 5 rounds of 15 dumbbell curls to 15 dumbbell pullovers, right? Again, if you have the pull-up bar and the capacity to do it with a band the other way, then go ahead and do so, like on the power and iron up. Part 3 is going to be 4 rounds, 10 bent over rear delt raises, just like we talked about. Then any dumbbell tricep extension, right? So overhead, I'm sorry, not any, overhead tricep extension at that point. Resting 2 minutes between rounds. Part 4, lag and muscle. And again, you guys can sub and interchange this in here with power and iron up if you have the equipment to do so. We just want to make sure if you don't have the equipment, you have options. Go over to the MHT Daily IG right after this. Take a look at all the movement demos. Hoo-yah. And then TBY to round it out is going to be part 1, 4 rounds, 15 push-ups, X down, X up, right? As fast as you possibly can move it, staying explosive, scale to your knees if you need to, but keep it under control. Then 30 seconds, as many reps as possible, odd object bent over rows, 2 seconds down, 2 seconds back up, resting 30 seconds, a little bit shorter rest, And then part 2, 5 rounds, 15 tower curls, 15 lat pull downs, MHT Daily IG to check it out. 30-second rest, closing it out with 4 rounds, 10 odd object rear delt raises, and as many reps as possible. Again, overhead odd object tricep extensions. So go over to MHT Daily IG to take a look exactly what that looks like. Workout super fun. I had a ton of blast with the, I did the power 9 and up version, but I did it with dumbbells for part 1. With the rows and everything else. It was a lot of fun. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Super pumped, going to build some muscle. Hoo-yah, never quit.